So I'm wondering, when people don't learn their lesson through the dark night prior, right? Because I had a similar situation like what I'm going through right now 6 years ago.
Hmm.
And literally, it's almost the same thing. And it maybe I don't think I learned my lesson. So can you cause these dark nights because you're not learning from the first dark night? Maybe if you continue to be in the same vibration and do the same patterns, I mean, you're going to re-experience it until it's impossible.
Well, let me ask you
right?
this. Let me ask you this. Are you the same person you were 6 years ago?
Yeah, you better. Cause you want this, I want this. Everybody in this, what should have it? Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Yeah, you better. Take the time to recognize it. You won't leave me even if you tried it. You're the artist, I'm the mess, and happily be found the new in your hands.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Unlimited with Elisabeth, Carson. Today, I have a very, very special guest and a great friend of mine. I look up to him so much, and his work is just so inspiring and amazing. I am so honored to have you here, Reverend Michael Beckwith. Thank you so much.
Elisabeth, it's my joy to be with you. And I've loved all of the adventures we've had thus far. And
Absolutely.
it's good to hang out this morning, this evening, good afternoon, whatever time zone people are in.
Yes. Thank you. Well, let's dive right in. I have some great questions for you that, are kind of just very, very in alignment with what I'm kind of going through right now.
Right.
I want to start with the dark night of the soul. And
Oh.
I know that you have talked about this before and you know much about it. What is the true purpose of the dark night of the soul, and how do we know we're not just depressed?
Well, you started with a deep question first.
Yes.
It's interesting that I have in two of my books, Life Visioning and Spiritual Liberation, I have a chapter dedicated to the dark night of the soul. And I remember when I was writing those books, the publishers didn't want me to put it in there because they didn't want me to bring down the energy. And I said, well, every true spiritual student, everyone who's truly on the path, it's going to bump into it. They need to know what it is.
Yes.
So the dark night of the soul is actually when the the personality construct or the way we've identified ourselves begins to fall apart. And everything seems to break down. It's not merely sadness because someone has died. It's not merely depression because you lost your job or some bad thing that has happened in your life, which feels dark within oneself. But the real dark night of the soul is a total metamorphosis. It's almost like the caterpillar dying and going into a chrysalis and becoming a liquid before the imaginal cells of the butterfly emerges.
Yes.
So when we're in a dark night, it means everything that we've identified ourselves as begins to fall apart, primarily because of the spiritual work that we've done. There is a death of the ego, a death of the limited perception, and then a rebirth. But in that middle of that, it feels like we don't know anything anymore. We don't know what to believe anymore. We're feeling cut off, bereft. We feel totally separate. We're in a dark night. And no one can go through an emergence from the chaos without it. It happens. And so great mystics pray for it until they're in it.
Oh man.
and then when you're in it, it's tough. But the inner work that one has been doing, you continue to do the inner work, and then there's a slow, sometimes quick, but oftentimes a slow emergence of your real self, your authentic self, your eternal self, your spiritual self. And you're no longer identified with things that you thought you were. For instance, we have trauma, we have defense mechanisms, coping mechanisms, things that have protected us along the way.
Yes.
And we've identified ourselves. That's who we are. But that's not who we are. Those are imprints. But as we begin to grow, those imprints fall apart. And then we have to emerge as our real self. And then when that happens, we're so glad we went through the dark night. But going through it is difficult, you see. Yeah.
Yes. Do you think that people can go through many dark nights throughout their lives?
Oh yeah, you can go through more than one. Because there's always, I teach like different stages of growth and development, or different ways that people move through the planet.
Yeah.
And there is transformation and there's dissolution. The people that are tuning into you right now are probably on the path of transformation. They want to transform their lives. They're conscious, working on transformation. But there could be no transformation without a dissolution of the old. And so whenever, let's say you come to a new frequency, a new vibration, when that happens, then everything unlike that bubbles up to be released. And that feels dark. So basically, people who are on the path constantly live between great transformation and great dissolving. And after a while, it's not a federal case. You just know you're going through something. But the answer to your question is yes, people can go through more than one dark night of the soul. There's generally a major one, and then there are ripples of that throughout your lifetime.
Yes. I feel like I feel like my life has had a couple of those. And what do you think about this situation? So I'm currently in a dark night right now. Everything I thought was me and mine was not. And it turns out that the universe was like, here you go. It's actually everything you thought it wasn't. So that's what you're going to deal with.
Right.
So I'm wondering, when people don't learn their lesson through the dark night prior, right? Because I had a similar situation like what I'm going through right now 6 years ago. And literally, it's almost the same thing. And it maybe I don't think I learned my lesson. So can you cause these dark nights because you're not learning from the first dark night? Maybe if you continue to be in the same vibration and do the same patterns, I mean, you're going to re-experience it until it's impossible.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you the same person you were 6 years ago?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you're different. So what happens is, if we can look at it like this, a revolution is like one cycle around, but in consciousness, the cycle gets bigger. So your consciousness expands. So what appears to be the exact same lesson, there are certain cycles that repeat. However, when it repeats, it's wider. So you've actually grown. So you're not the same person, even though it feels that way. Now, this is the way you look at it. When you go to another level, it feels like you're doing the same thing, because the way you've been imprinted from a sense of separation, it feels like you're going through the same thing, but you're actually not. It just feels that way because that's how you move through separation. But you actually are expanded. You're not the same person you were 6 years ago.
Right.
So you can more quickly rebound. You can more quickly learn the lesson and more quickly declare what is true about you and where you're going, rather than lamenting in, woe is me. Why did I make the same mistake? No. You don't live in the past. You learn from the past.
Yes.
And then you make a different choice from the person you're today. The person you were 6 years ago made some choices and decisions that moved you along the path. Now this version of yourself makes another choice, from a more expanded state. So you're not repeating, even though emotionally it feels like you're repeating, because everyone has a kind of an imprint of how they feel separation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's like some people feel a sense of separation like betrayal. Some people feel a sense of separation like loss, or lack of self-love. So whenever something comes, that's what they feel, even though the situation is different.
Yes.
And so now you have to choose from your higher frequency. So however it is matching you right now, whatever you feel, that it's a lie.
Yes.
Because in the universal scheme of things, what you're feeling is an experience of a perception, but it is not true. You have to bounce into the truth. You're taken care of. All of your needs are met. Everything is working together for your good. Life is always for you. There's nothing against you. You have to rebound into that feeling, and then you learn the lessons very quickly.
Yes, I love that you're saying this. This is literally what I've been talking about, kind of figuring it out on my own. This dark night is a horrible one, but I'm learning to walk through this night with grace, whereas I probably wouldn't have 10 years ago. The lessons I'm learning, that everything is happening for me, not against me. So I am in that space. I'm trying to stay in that space of the happy bubble that, everything is all one and we're all connected and everything is happening for your highest good. So I'm trying to stay in a positive space and not get dragged into, the drama of the situation, which I know a lot of people do. And, take the lessons from the prior dark nights. And it's given me a lot of resilience to deal with things like this that happen. So it feels different.
Yeah, you stay in total forgiveness, total forgiveness for yourself, and total forgiveness for everyone else, so that you come out of regret and resentment, and you stay in resilience. What most people don't understand is that what regret is having an imaginary narrative of what should have happened. So you're imagining this should have happened. I should have said this. They should have said this, or whatever. But it's imaginary. It didn't happen that way.
Right.
And so you come out of the imaginary narrative. You forgive everything so that you can establish a new narrative for your life. Your new narrative is, as you just said, everything is working together for my good. So the next level of my life is going to be built from the expanded space of what I thought I had, but it's going to be real.
Yes.
It's going to be real. It's not dependent on any circumstance. It's depending on your consciousness.
Yes. Woo. Conversation. I love this.
Yeah.
How do you forgive? Right. So a lot of people like me, for instance, it took me so long to learn how to forgive and actually feel it in my body. Do you have any suggestions for people with forgiveness? Because people can say, I forgive you all day, but do you really feel like you forgave somebody is the question. Right.
Well, when Yeshua ben Joseph, otherwise known as Jesus the Christ, said 70 times 7, that actually means a way of living. So that you kind of forgive every day of every little hurt, every little judgment, every little thing that happens. You kind of just make sure you're forgiving it so you're not carrying it. But a good way to forgive is you imagine the other person or persons, whoever the situation may be, in front of you. And you just imagine that they're there, and you say in substance, whatever it is I think you did or did not do, I forgive it and release it. I cut the cord of the emotions, and you declare that whatever happened or what perceived to have happened cannot keep me from my destiny. That has no power over me. So you're forgiving, you're cutting the cord, and you're declaring it doesn't have any power over my destiny. My destiny is intact. What has been placed within me before time began can't be touched by what anybody has done. And so then you release the other people. You forgive yourself. You can put yourself in the chair in front of you as well. Forgive yourself for any missteps, any acts of commission, things you should have said, things you didn't say. You forgive it all. And then say, whatever has happened in the so-called past can't stop my destiny from unfolding. So now you're becoming more in tune with your destiny rather than what you should have done, what they should have done, all of that, which is all imaginary. You know, it's just our own perception of what we think should have happened and what didn't happen. It's all imaginary. Because what's untouched is our spiritual nature. That's untouched by time or experience. That gets to rise. That's the resurrection. That's the renewal, the regeneration. That's the butterfly, That's the oak tree growing from the acorn. Just rises up, and then you look back and you kind of laugh at the stuff in the past, It's like,
absolutely. Yes. I have found too with forgiveness, I always try to find the gift in the situation because there's always a gift. Everything is happening for you. So where is the gift with whoever you're mad at or whatever you're upset about? What situation you're, mad about? What's the gift within that? That has really helped me to let it go.
That's it. Your blessings, the challenges are gifts in work clothes.
Mm.
They're coming to work you out. You know what I mean? So that
Yes.
you expand. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. What would you say to someone who thinks their suffering means that they're failing spiritually?
You know, in the Buddhist technology, they always say that suffering is just inevitable within the human condition
Yeah.
because of our attachment to things.
Mhm.
So that doesn't mean you're failing. Oftentimes, the suffering simply means that you're holding on to an attachment of how things should be.
Mhm.
And if you give up how things should be and just accept that this is the way that it is,
Yes.
and then you grow from there, and there's no attachment, and then there's
Mhm.
no suffering. You
Mhm.
know, pain is inevitable, but suffering is choice.
Mhm.
So sometimes painful things happen. There's you stub your toe, you know, it hurts. But if you keep talking about it, you know, yesterday I stubbed my toe. Oh, 4 weeks ago I stubbed my toe, you know, then you're suffering. So
Right.
things happen in life,
Mhm.
and they happen. They're painful. You know, it's a jolt to the system. Oh my God, that hurt, you know. But the story you tell about it
Yes.
determines whether you're going to suffer. So
Mhm.
as you just said, if the story you're telling about it is, you know, this that I'm experiencing is actually making me grow, there's a blessing in here somewhere, then the
Mhm.
suffering diminishes and the lesson is increased. So people have to they have to train themselves to stop telling a narrative
Mhm.
that keeps suffering going on, which is it's not easy. It's simple, but it takes work.
Yeah.
You know, it takes real discipline
Mhm.
uh,
Yes.
to tell a different story. Yeah,
Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And perception is everything because it's really how you just perceive. You have to retrain your perception always to be positive. That's what I've been trying to do. Always perceive things to be for my highest good. Okay, for my highest good. Okay, that happened for my highest good. Even though it didn't feel like it, I know there's a lesson there that's going to make me grow. So trying to
right.
stay on that vibration.
Well,
Um,
perception determines your experience. I mean, our
yes.
experience is determined by perception, not by anything else. I mean, two people can be experiencing the same way, but have different perceptions and see it totally differently. You know,
Mhm.
some people
Mhm.
can look at the economic system and say, "Oh my God, there's so many opportunities here," and somebody can look at it and say, "Oh my God, this is crazy." You know,
Right.
and the perception will change the whole experience.
Yes, yes, it will. I always tell people just change your perception and your life can become so beautiful because everything is
Absolutely.
a gift. Yes. How do we remember who we are when the world is telling us who we should be?
Well, you know, the world is the world of I call it the world of appearances, is
Mhm.
insidious with thoughts and spells to keep people from knowing their power,
Yes.
because people can be controlled if they feel powerless, if they have a lack of self-loath, if they have self-loathing, lack of self-love, lack of self-appreciation, they can be controlled by external forces.
Mhm.
It's called like nefarious hypnotism, you know? And so we have to look at the world. It's an appearance world. It's not the real world. The
Mhm.
world as it appears to be is the condensation of thoughts, beliefs, opinions, and points of view that have condensed itself into a simulation, but it's not
Mhm.
real.
Yes.
And so this is why we have spiritual practices like meditation
Mhm.
and declaration, decrees, affirmation, life visioning, to pull us away from the world,
Mhm.
so we begin to see the light that's within us. And as this becomes more real to us than the external world, we're able to be in the world, but we're of a higher frequency.
Mhm.
So once it's like once you see a magic act, you know what I mean? And it fools you. But after you see that it's sleight of hand, after you see behind the curtain, you say,
Yes.
"Oh, that was magic."
Uh-huh.
Well, once we see that we are being hypnotized, and we see that there are lies being told, we see that there's lies about us, that we're powerless, and etc. Once we see it, then we can't be fooled by it.
Mhm.
Now we can actually claim our sovereignty. We can claim our dominion. We can claim who we are. And then the world starts to lose its power. All
Mhm.
kinds of things. When you look at the news as an example,
Mhm.
the news, those are reporters. and they are reporting from an old paradigm. What we're doing here is that we are seeking to report from the emerging paradigm, the paradigm that most people can't see. We're making it visible and audible. So when you look at the news, you're actually looking at 90% of lies. You're looking at a world run by graft and greed, materialism, might makes right. You're looking at a world that does not really exist in the mind of God. It doesn't really, this exist only in human consciousness. So once you see that world, then you say, I'm not playing that game. I'm out. I'm opting out of that. And then you start to live in a different world. But you're right. It's insidious. It's people are basing their whole life on the lies from that world that isn't real. When I mean real, I mean it isn't eternal. It isn't forever. It's not spiritual. It's just a figment of our imagination that has condensed itself into time and space, you see.
Yes, I love Wayne Dyer used to talk about it. He used to talk about your perception of what life is. You can either pay attention to the news and the stress, and that's what creates your reality, or you can focus on the good things, and then that's your reality, your perception. So, when people talk about all the drama, it's like if you focus on that, that's what your life is going to be. So you should focus on something that's happy and present and real, which is the only moment that is now, right?
You're going to magnify whatever you hyper focus on.
Yes.
So if you stop and become very hyper focused on something to be grateful for, then you're magnifying not only your perception, but your energy. Your energy changes, and your frequency is your currency. We're all vibrational beings. Frequency means the speed of the vibration. So when we're in thankfulness and gratitude, we're raising our frequency, then that becomes our currency, and that's matched by the law of life. And the law of life matches that frequency, and then becomes our open doors, our miracles, becomes pathways, becomes ways out of no ways. And so whatever you're hyper focused on, and some people are hyper focused so much that they complain all the time. They're always complaining and bemoaning, and they always want to talk about what's wrong. And not that we deny that, but you have to be more hyper focused on what's working than on what's not working. And then your life begins to shift its trajectory.
Yes. What do you think about blocks? So what if someone's doing all the things, right? And they're trying to manifest and they're living spiritually, focusing on the positive. What about blocks? Like, what if that person wants to manifest, I don't know, money, but they're stuck in poverty? How would that person kind of shift their frequency to get out of that, to attract it, even if they're doing all the right things?
Right. Well, again, we start with gratitude with what we have, because as the law says, they who have more is given, they who have not, even that which they have shall be taken away. So you have to move yourself into a state of being with what you have. You can't look on what you don't have. You look at what you have, so that you're living in the awareness of having. And the more you have, more is given. And two, if there's a block generally means that there's something you haven't forgiven, meaning you're walking around thinking that somebody owes you something. And so if you think somebody owes you something, your message to the universe is, I don't have something. And then the universe says, you don't have something. There's a blockage there. So you have to forgive so that you feel you have everything. Now in the physical world, somebody may owe you something, and so that's true. But you let the other laws handle that, whether that's an attorney or whatever it is. You let them handle that, but you don't walk around thinking somebody owes you something. You walk around thinking, I have everything I need.
Yes.
So you hyper focus on gratitude. You walk around feeling that you have everything that you need. So then the universe can match that, and then doors open.
Yes.
Because it's matching your vibration, it's matching your frequency. You see. So you step into the awareness. You step into that awareness of I have everything. And then, what I find a lot of times people, they abuse themselves, but they don't know they're abusing themselves. Now, if someone were to come up to you and say, Elisabeth, you're never going to amount to anything. You've made too many mistakes in your life. You just made so many mistakes that it's never going to work out for you. And, you had a terrible childhood, and you have all this garbage in your mind from your childhood, and you're never going to make it. Now, if somebody came up to you and said that to you every day, you'd call that abuse. You wouldn't let anybody talk to you like that.
Right.
However, we talk to ourselves like that. And so we're doing all this self-abuse. Oh, I made all these mistakes. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. Nobody likes me. But, people are abusing themselves and don't know it.
Yeah.
And so just as you wouldn't let somebody else abuse you, you don't want to abuse yourself. You want to talk to yourself sweetly. You want to go to bed at night. When you close your eyes, you want to just say, I'm so grateful for everything that I have, even as I dream. Oh my God, I'm going to be blessed. Then you wake up. Oh, I'm waking up. Woo! This whole new territory in my life right now. This whole new doorway is opening up. You have to talk to yourself sweetly. And so your subconscious mind just begins to take that in, and then that becomes your new law. So you just don't abuse yourself anymore,
Yes, so many people, negative thought patterns. I mean, I used to wear a rubber band on my wrist.
Yeah.
And when I would catch myself, negative thought, I just pull the rubber band, and it kind of trained my body to be like, don't think negative, always think positive, positive, positive.
Right.
So there are ways to do it, but it's, I think practice makes perfect.
It's not just that practice makes perfect. It is perfect practice makes perfect. Because some people practice negativity perfectly. So you have to practice perfection. And then I like to change the word positive to affirmative, because sometimes a person can be positive that they're broke, but life affirms itself. It's always affirming good. It's affirming beauty. It's affirming abundance. So I like to say, I have affirmative thoughts. I'm affirming life in myself. Because some people are very positive, but they're positive about the wrong things. I'm positive I don't have no money in my bank account, or whatever.
Right, exactly. Is there such thing as missing your calling, or does the calling evolve with you?
Well, everyone has a calling. That is their soul call. There is, let me say it this way. Before an individual incarnated on the planet, we're all spiritual beings. When we incarnated, we put within ourselves alarm clocks that would wake us up. Those alarm clocks are called visions and dreams that pull us into our greatness, pull us into our gift. It's our calling. And that calling doesn't have an expiration date on it. And so that means it doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. When you surrender to your calling, it will create the way for you. You don't have to create the way. Once you surrender to your calling. And so I invite people to like go into meditation and feel that you're totally loved, and then ask the question, what gift am I to contribute? What is my calling? What is my vision? And then it will begin to activate your spiritual faculty, so that you can hear, not just with your ears, see, not just with your eyes, the feeling of your calling. And then as you walk in that direction, ways will open. And it's the calling and your surrender to the calling that's opening up the way. It's not your mental might opening up the way. It's the vibration of your calling. So we have heard, people have missed their calling oftentimes because they've gotten caught in parental fantasies, religious fantasies, societal fantasies about, as you said earlier, about what they should be. So they miss their calling because they're operating from somebody else's authority. But when you go in and you ask the right questions, your soul will speak to you. Little hunches, little inner feelings, a little guidance, images will come. And if you walk in that direction, things start to open up. You start to experience serendipity, and you start to experience spontaneous goodness and coincidences, letting you know, oh, I'm walking in the right direction. I just met this person I didn't know. You start to walk in the right direction, and then momentum takes over from inertia. You're not making it happen. I like to say you're making it welcome because it's already happening around you. It's just waiting for you to open up to it, you see. Yeah.
Yes, yes. You know what? I feel like I was stuck so much in masculine energy for the past 5 years because I felt like I had so much responsibility with work. It was like, I had to lead this team and to make these decisions and plan these things. So, what is your thoughts about that energy versus, because it was hustle, 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 hustle. And
Yeah.
now I'm in a space where I'm trying to get in more into my feminine, allowing and
Yeah.
attracting. And
It's a combination of both.
yes.
The feminine energy is letting, allowing, yielding, surrendering to what already is. The masculine energy is mentally making something happen with the mind, until you yield to the energy that's already there. And so there becomes a kind of a balance where the feminine energy of allowing governs the masculine energy. So your doing is from your being rather than your being from your doing. So when one is captured by a vision and then you are able to articulate the vision, then the vision pulls you into right doing, you see. And the hustle mentality becomes more of a spiritual enthusiasm. It's not just I'm going to hustle and make this happen. It's more like it's an enthusiastic walking in the direction of the vision, you see. Because a lot of times people will hustle, and nothing wrong with hustling at a certain point of your development, but sometimes people will hustle, 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 and then when they get everything they think they want, they haven't developed their soul or their being, and they're still not happy.
Yes.
They may have the world, but they're not. They don't have their soul connection. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
It really honestly does so much. So much. Yes. Because I was, what, my whole life has been hustling, Rev. Like that's been my whole life is just hustle, 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 make it happen. It's going to happen. And I've really realized that, you can do that and you can create beautiful things. You can create awesome stuff. But like you said, when you get there and when you get it, it's like, why am I not feeling like I am happy that I arrived?
Right.
So,
You have to arrive there first, and that's
yes.
the soul. You see, yeah, and then when you look at how you have survived in your lifetime, you needed a kind of a defense mechanism and coping mechanism to survive, and so that hustle became your survival mechanism.
Yeah.
For some people, their survival mechanism may have been being lazy. You know what I'm saying? But yours was hustle.
Yeah.
So now you have to let the hustle grow into, I've already arrived. I'm here. Now let that pull you into right action. You understand? It pulls you into right action. I'm already healthy. I'm wealthy inside. I'm happy. Now, what do the actions look like from somebody that's already arrived? You see? It may look the same in the physical world, but inside it's different. Inside it's an inner enthusiasm. It's a joy. It's a generosity. It's a love. Rather than, oh my God, I hope I get there. Hope I get there. No, it's different.
Right. Yes. Very, very different. I'm learning this. This is currently like what I'm just trying to settle down a little bit, breathe, and just know that everything is happening for me and just following along, like you said, following along the vision. What do you think about vision? So, there's a couple things that I've seen in my life, right? During deep meditation, some things I've manifested literally. I'm like, whoa, I literally saw this. And what about the real strong ones, right? The ones that are so clear, so vivid. You feel the emotion in your body. I mean, those are, what do you think that is? Do you think that that's just kind of shedding into or pulling in your future? Do you think it's maybe another timeline? What do you think those visions?
It could be all of that. Generally, if you're being called by a vision, we can put it in different language. That's your future self talking to you, or it's your higher self basically laying out to you what's already there for you just walk in this direction, but it's already there. So you talk about timelines, you can actually step into that timeline and the feeling when you go to sleep, when you wake up, and then the world of conditions will begin to vibrate around that timeline. And you find all these open doorways. Once you understand that, everything that we see in time and space is a simulation of reality. It's not reality, it's simulation of it. We can break free from the simulation, and we can call the future or the eternal now into expression right now. Call it, and then we're pulled. But every single being, everyone is pulled by a vision, but they have to ask for it, articulate it, and then take baby steps of walking in that direction. And then life changes.
Yeah. I listen to Neville Goddard a lot, and he always talks about how you should just act as if it's already there, right?
Yeah.
As if you're walking in your vision already. So what would that person that you're seeing be doing right now? So it's like holding that vibration at all times. So you're really pulling in,
Absolutely. Neville Goddard, man, he was trained by this African Haitian man.
Really?
Taught him everything. And one of my early teachers years ago was trained by Neville Goddard.
Really?
And we used to teach together. And she could manifest like gold coins in her hand,
What?
Yeah. We were sitting in class one day, and she was talking about Neville Goddard, and she was saying, we learned how to just to go into a different space and just pull what we needed. And she'd go boop, and she'd have a gold coin in her hand, just to show her. Her name was Reverend Juanita Dunn. And and we used to work together. It was a very good time in my life that gave me a lot of insight, a lot of revelation. But Neville Goddard is right on. He was a great mystic, and he was trained by a great mystic of African descent. And matter of fact, many years ago, there was a group of people taking a workshop with Neville Goddard. And one of the guys went to New York, and as he was got into an elevator, and the elevator broke, and it fell down many floors. And when it hit the bottom, he wasn't hurt, because as he was falling, all he kept saying is, God is all there 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 is. And when he hit the bottom, he should have had broken legs or died or something. He had nothing wrong with him, because he had just moved himself into this field that nothing existed except for him and God.
Wow.
And his body didn't sustain any injuries. He had just left the Neville Goddard workshop.
What?
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh my, that reminds me of a question I asked someone yesterday. She was, she got sick with parasites, Lyme, and mold all at the same time. She had like 13 surgeries trying to figure out what was wrong with her. And so I asked her, right, because she was saying that parasites, all these things are frequencies, right? And so they go into your body, they create a frequency, and then they change your frequency.
Right.
So I asked her, what if your frequency is what it is, though, and you hold on to your frequency and you know what it is? Can they even get in there and attack you still? I don't think so. She was like, yeah, they can still change your frequency, but I feel like
they can change your frequency if you allow it, if you're unconscious.
Yeah.
Now, many people have parasites and they think they want some sugar or something. They really don't. It's really the parasite that wants the sugar that's taking over them. But as they begin to lift their own vibration and frequency, and then also follow just proper health thing, how to eliminate them, how to hydrate, how to stay away from certain kind of foods, how to eat healthy foods, you'll begin to vibrate differently. You begin to eliminate those particular parasites.
Yes.
There's as there's whole ways of different herbal remedies that vibrate differently to cleanse that stuff out of you. But to live in a higher frequency, particularly in this simulation, it takes spiritual practice every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I really feel like everything in mind, body, soul, it's all connected. So as long as your vessel is clean and clear, you are going to get better spiritual downloads. Everything is clear. So this is stronger, I feel like, when you stay healthy. Yes. Well, what is one belief that most people need to unlearn until in order to spiritually evolve? I think it's so many things, but
there's a lot of things. People oftentimes put their good in the future, One day it's going to be better, but some day it's going to be better, but some day is not a day on the calendar. You have to break down that belief of time and space, and through spiritual practice, you come to an awareness that's it's happening now. We've kind of talked about that with the Goddard teaching of being who you want to be. You have to be that vibration now. So you actually have to break down time and space and realize that you can break it down, and that everything good is happening right now. And you have to feel that, and you take your attention away from the physical world, and it's happening now. I am abundance. I am prosperity. I am joy. But I am now. I'm not going to be happy when I get something. I am the vibration now, and then something will turn up that matches that vibration. So some people have a belief that when everything is the way they think it should be, then they're going to be happy. So they're putting their good on the layaway plan. I'm going to live a little life today and have more tomorrow, but we don't want to live life on the layaway plan. It's now, right now, right now. So that's a practice. People can basically just set their clock to go off every hour on the hour, and every time it goes off, just stop, take a breath. All of my needs are met right now, right now, right now. I'm in joy right now, right now, right now. There was a woman, I can't think of her name right now, but she went on to become a great author and a great teacher. And she had written down a list one day of everything she needed. She needed money for her rent, her car note, money for her kid's school. It was all these things. So she wrote it on a piece of paper, and she put it in a drawer, and she went into meditation. And the voice said, "What do you need?" And she said, "Oh, I have the list." The voice said, "What do you need now?" And she pulled out the list and she read it. "I need money for my rent every month. I need this. I need that." And the voice said it again. "What do you need now?" And she read the list again. And the voice said it again. And she says, "Oh, you mean this now? Oh, all of my needs are met in this now." And the voice said, "Stay right there.
I love that.
And then your needs will show up." So she was putting everything in the future. Realize, oh, now I have all the oxygen I need. Oh, yeah, right now. And he said, "Stay right there." And then things unfolded, and she had the money she needed. She had everything that showed up, but it came from the space of now.
Chills. Why do people sabotage their own breakthroughs?
Because most of it comes down to a sense of separation from their good. I was working with a woman a number of years ago, a very brilliant person, a great writer. I mean, she had everything, great, everything going for her. But whenever she was about to become successful, she would find a way to sabotage it. And so I was working with her, and I had a practitioner friend who was also a hypnotherapist. And I said, "I want you to have one session with this hypnotherapist." So the hypnotherapist regressed her and went all the way back to she was about 3 or 4 years old. And the father of the house had left. She was being raised by her mother, but her mother had to go to work. So her mother would leave her by herself at a very young age and have the neighbors look in on her. So while the neighbors would look in on her, one of the neighbors' kids would abuse her. And so she had this thought of always being alone and not being safe. So whenever she would about to be successful, this thought would come up. I'm alone, I'm by myself, I'm not safe. So when she regressed and she went back to being 3 and 4, she saw that the room was full of angels. These angels were taking care of her.
Wow.
During this time of abuse. And when she came back from this, the encounter of hypnotism or whatever, she came back with the feeling that she was never alone. Even though it appeared that way, and that stuck with her. Then she no longer sabotaged herself. The feeling of separation dissolved.
Yeah.
So whether everyone goes through different circumstances in life, And then you get imprinted with a lie. I'm alone. No one likes me. I'm never protected. I'm unsafe. I'm separated from my good. That's all a lie. Because on the spiritual level, your angels are with you all the time. Your guardian angels are with you. The archangels are with you. Your ancestors are with you. God is with you always.
Yes.
But once you come back to that and you break free from the spell of separation, you stop sabotaging yourself because you're never alone. You're never cut adrift.
Right.
But our imprints make us see that we are.
Yes. I love that you said hypnotism because, a lot of people don't even know why things like that happen to them. I mean, it took work for me. I was doing cranial, sacral, and somato-emotional release work. Yeah. And that work made me consciously figure out why I had such bad abandonment issues. I mean, I went into my mom's womb and experienced that. I re-experienced my birth and saw what happened to me. And I'm like, oh, well, it makes sense. I never saw my mother, never saw her. Right. So yes, but it was so hard for me to realize and figure that out because I didn't consciously remember anything like that. So for people doing regression work or body work in some way, shape, or form, I mean, it's so powerful because you could have something hiding in the closet from when you were 1 year old, And yes, working through those things is incredibly powerful.
Those are imprints that imprint your perception. Yes. So like in a case of like your case and so many people's case, you just have to just give thanks that your parents brought you into this world. Everything else is a bonus. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all bonus material. If your parents were nice parents or you met them or they helped you or supported you or loved you, that's bonus material. But they brought you here. So you just give thanks that they brought you here, forgive everything else. Stand with the presence,
Yes. How do you talk to your angels, Reverend? Because I have just really, really started connecting with my angels, and it's almost like I can feel them, and it's like I have tingles in my body anytime anyone talks about angels. Like when you were talking, my body was tingling.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm tingling right now in the back of my neck. It got more. Now it's really going crazy in my body. A number of years ago, I mean, I've always been inclined to embrace the angelic realm and the ancestral realm, because when I woke up years ago, I was more on the other side than on this side. So so I had to learn to be more here. Yeah, you understand? People thought I was kind of weird, but a number of years ago, I was in Costa Rica, and my daughter and I were on the beach. Anyway, I went out swimming. I'm a really good swimmer, and I was out very deep. I couldn't get in because there was a rip tide. And then in Costa Rica, there was like a double rip tide. So I was trying to swim to the side, but it didn't do any good. So I got really, really exhausted. I mean, I was really, really tired. And I went underwater. I mean, I was swallowing water, and I asked myself, did I have any prophetic dreams that this was the last day on the planet? And I didn't. So I said, I got to get back. So then this thought went across my mind. If I don't get back to shore, there's going to be a lot of upset people, So I popped up, and what came out of my mouth was, I need some help here. Like, I need some help. It wasn't even conscious. It just kind of came out of my mouth. I need some help, like that. And then these 3 waves came, big waves. They gave me momentum, and I was able to swim in. Took me a long time to get in, but I got in. And when I hit the ground, I laid on the ground. I was just breathing really hard. So I get back to the States. I'm talking to a friend of mine. She's a medium. Name is Alicia Killebrew. And so she says to me, I told her what happened. And she says, well, can I look? I said, yes. So she closes her eyes and she looks at the experience and she says, oh, you asked for help. I said, yes, I did. She said, when you asked for help, an archangel sent you 3 waves.
Oh my God.
Got you in. She says, but they cannot intervene unless you ask for help.
Yes.
And so I make that as a part of my spiritual practice. I meditate, I do affirmative prayer, I do my breath work, but then I ask for help. I said, I want help today to get through all of my assignments with dignity and grace. I make myself available to help because the ancestors and the angels, they can watch, but they can't intervene unless you ask.
Yes.
You ask, they can come in and help you. They can't do it for you, but they can help you.
Yes, your spiritual team. I've gotten so in tune with my spiritual team during this dark night because I've felt like I needed them so bad.
Right.
And, I have been working with a psychic weekly that has really been helping me. She's crazy. She can see, so she'll close her eyes, travels the dimensions and realms, and sees what's happening.
Right.
So she knew my life before I even told her because she was seeing everything. She saw it. I'm like, how do you know that? Like my kid, he's 12 years old, but he looks like he's 9. He looks like he's very young. She's like, oh, you got a little 8-year-old boy. No, like he's 12. She's like, oh, he's so cute. So, she can see your guides, your angels, your ancestors. And this one time when we were about to start the reading, we went into prayer and I felt the tingles on like all around my back, my neck, just in the back. And I'm like, I have more angels with me today. I can feel it. Like I can feel them. And she went to the realms and she's like, oh my goodness, you have so many angels with you today. And I was like, I can feel this. Like, so I'm trying to train my physical body with the tingles and these things that happen to be very in tune that this is not just tingles for no reason. It's a hit of something that's real, like like, oh, you're on the right track, or you asked the right questions, or this is real stuff. It's so powerful.
It's very real. I mean, the spiritual realm is more real than the physical realm. The physical realm is temporary.
Yes.
It's transitory. It's always changing based on people's perception and thought forms. But the spiritual realm and the higher realms, the higher frequency realms, that's real. It's eternal.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's and materialist people, they need to pay more attention to the unseen and for real happiness to emerge.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Have you experimented with different, like, breath work, psychedelics, things that kind of bring you into those realms? Have you?
I've done everything in my last over 40 years. I mean, I was doing rebirthing with, you ever heard of Leonard Orr? Leonard Orr was the like the father of rebirth. It was called rebirthing back in the day. Now it's called breathwork. But in 1978, we were laying on the ground in Seattle, Washington, Tacoma, actually, doing breath work under the stars.
Wow.
We connected breathing, and then we learned how to jump dimensions. We'd get the breath a certain way, then we jump into another dimension and meet with other beings that were in that particular frequency. So I've done a lot of that work for years. It's because I've seen it over the last 40 years. Things become popular again and then go out of style. So I've seen a lot of things that seem new, but I remember when we did it back in the 70s and back in the 80s, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I do breath work every day. I do a certain breath before I speak every time. It's just I don't even think about it anymore. You know what I mean? Like I'll wake up and splash cold water on my face, and sit and do these very deep breaths and hold and tell myself the truth. And then breathe out, hold, tell myself the truth. That's how I begin my day, And then I have moments of meditation, and then I have moments of different kind of other breath work. So that's just a part of who I am. It's not even, it's just like brushing my teeth. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't even think about certain things. Like if you see me at Agape, getting ready to speak, I'll be sitting there, and I'll be doing breath work. I do the rapid breath in the breath of fire, 40 breaths before I speak. And I'll get up and, so it's just a part of me, so I don't do a lot of psychedelics and things like that. I've done ayahuasca. It was very good. I've done psilocybin. I've done mushrooms. I've done acid in college. You know what I mean? I think I've done everything. And but my main thing is meditation.
Yeah.
And I remember when I did ayahuasca the first time, it was very close to my very deep meditations that I would have. I left my body. I talked to these other beings. They gave me some information, some lessons. They put me through different scenarios in my life, so I would learn lessons from it. So I think all of that stuff is helpful if you have the intention of waking up. If you're doing it just to get high, then you can become addicted. But if you're doing it to actually get clarity and to see your dark spots and to get clarity on your next steps, that all that's very beneficial. But I don't. Again, things become popular, so then you have people that call themselves shaman, and they've gone to Peru for a couple of months. They come back and they say they're a shaman, and they do all this stuff, But those things are like deep traditions of thousands of years.
Yes.
So somebody's not going to come back from being 2 months in Peru and say they're a shaman.
Cracks me up. I have a lot of people I know that they're shamans now. I'm like, oh, now you're a shaman. I was like, last year you were a chef though, but okay.
I mean, I appreciate what they're doing, you know what I mean? But and then every student will find their teacher until they go to the next teacher, you know what I mean?
Yes,
I don't judge any of it, but I laugh at it sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's funny.
I think now you can go on the internet and you can,
Yes, exactly.
Not do the practice, but teach the stuff.
Yes, right, exactly. What's the most profound experience that you've ever had?
Well, there's been a number of them, but I would say my initial awakening still feeds me today. And that was many years ago. I was a senior at USC psychobiology major. I was on the path to go to med school, but I was having a series of inner experiences that I labeled pathological. I thought I was going crazy. And so what I did was I stopped smoking weed because I figured the weed was causing this, and the experiences intensified. Oh, I'm starting to get a really strong opening at the top of my head right now, thinking about it. And so anyway, I'll make it short, but I would leave my body in the lucid dream, and there'd be these 3 men every night chasing me, getting closer to me. But every night I would wake up before they could capture me. And then one night they were really close and I could see the outline of their face. And when I looked to my right, there was a small tent, but thousands upon thousands of people were trying to fit into this small tent. And I knew every single person in line. And so I looked to my right and I said to myself, oh, these men can't hurt me. All of my friends are with me. And then one by one, they all turned their back on me. 2 of the men held me down, and one of the men plunged a knife in my heart, a serrated knife in my heart. And the pain was excruciating in my heart and in my emotional body, and I died. And when I woke up, I could see differently. The beauty everywhere, the lint on the rug glowing with divinity, everything was divine. I could see 360 degrees. I didn't need my eyes. I could see everywhere. And the presence of love penetrated my being. The love was so intense. I woke up in this and I was never the same. And so my life changed and I had to find out what had happened to me. And that's when I bumped back into the teaching, the mystical teachings of Jesus, not the church teachings, but mystical teachings of the Buddha, Jesus, Walter Russell, all these great mystics. And I realized that I had popped open. I'd become conscious. And that changed the course of my life. And then all those beginning years, as I was saying earlier, I was more on the other side than on this side. With teachers that were teaching me, people that I could read their books in this dimension, but they were in the other life teaching me. And then that became like the foundation for my becoming a teacher. I never thought I would be a public teacher. That wasn't my thing. It was my calling, but I didn't know it was my calling at the time. I was just loving this presence of beauty and intelligence, and people wanted to be around me for healings and things like that. My name was different. I changed my name at the time. My name was Paramatman. A number of years later, I took back Michael. But that was so the beginning one was my most profound as an adult. I had experiences as a kid, but I would quickly try to normalize so I wouldn't be weird. That one, I could never get back in the box. So then subsequent, there's been many other immersions into the light. But the last one profound was a couple of Januaries ago. I was about to go on a Zoom call like we're now, I was about to do some teaching. When I closed my eyes, and I woke up, when I opened my eyes to go on the Zoom, I was blind. I couldn't see. I was blind in the light. I was just totally engulfed by white light. So I called in Reverend Kathleen. I called in Lee. I said, I can't teach right now. I'm blind. I can't see anything but light. So I was immersed in this light. And it was going on for a long time. And then little by little, I could see in this dimension and I could see the light. Kathleen was to my right. Lee was to my left. And when I looked at them, I could see the light inside of them. It's like a fountain of light. Wow. And I realized that that was their identity. That we are really the light that lights up every being that comes to the planet, and that we have this body, but we're really luminosity, intelligence, brilliance. And so that was quite profound, and the remnants of that still are with me. But that was the first time that I went into the light, and it happened publicly with people. I've been in it before, but nobody was ever around. I was in my own meditation or something like that, but they could see I was blind. So that was quite profound. And so I like to tell people, I'll tell people that, like when I'm speaking from a place, you know what I mean? I'm speaking from, I'm not just speaking what I know intellectually. Yeah. I'm actually speaking from this place of connection. And I'm not bragging about it. I'm not pointing the finger at me. It's like, I'm just aware of something that's true about everybody. Yes. And those particular experiences were always way more powerful than anything I did when I took a substance. Substances can open you up to it, but you have to actually do the work to maintain that space,
Right. Yes. It's, meditation for me. I mean, it's necessary. It's part of my life. It's just who I am. Yeah. So morning and evening, I do it no matter what. I mean, that is the only way I feel like that, you can really create what you're supposed to create on the planet, is having those moments of silence, because that's the only time that you get to talk to your soul. Right. Otherwise, it's just distractions all day.
And importantly, you get to listen.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Why do you think so many people have trouble meditating? I mean, a lot of people are like, how do you do this? I can't get my mind to stop.
Well, the ego says, how do you meditate? Yes. The ego will put the how to before the what is. Yes. So you have to say, what is meditation, before you say how to meditate. Because the ego will give you an operational question because it keeps you distracted. But if you ask, what is meditation? Meditation is paying undistractable attention to reality. So if you know that's what it is, then when you become still with an intention to wake up, you become observant. You're not trying to calm the mind. You're freeing yourself from the mind. That is, after a while, you're able to look at the mind. You see the lies that it's telling. You see the fears. You see the good stuff too. But you realize who's looking. You're not the mind. You're the onlooker of the mind. You're pure awareness. Yes. And now you get to look at the sensations in your body. You can look at the fears. You can hear the noise in the room. But all of that is in your field of awareness. You are awareness. You're not the content of the awareness. You are the awareness itself. Now, and when you're able to tell the difference between the content of your awareness and your awareness, it's called waking up. You start to wake up. Life becomes different. And so everybody's trying to calm their mind and all of that. Forget about that stuff. Just become aware of what's passing through, and you'll see the real you. You're the one looking. You're not the stuff passing through. Right. And then you start to wake up, and then you start to have more power.
Yes. Mic drop.
I'm just giving you a little tad.
Yes, I know. Oh my God, this conversation, I've been getting chills this whole time. It's like you're speaking to my soul. Well, you are speaking to my soul. I'm like, tell me more. I could be on here for hours with you. Thank you so much. I know it's been an hour, and I don't want to keep you too long, because I literally
we'll just call this part 1.
Yes, exactly. Because oh my God, it's like everything that you were saying it just resonates so deeply. And I just appreciate you and your work so much. Those stories, oh my goodness, like that's crazy. I got to go think about that one. I got to process.
Yeah, this is the first time I have a new book coming out in a few months. It's on meditation. But in the book, I'm finally putting, every chapter has a different story that happened with me. And so, so I'm revealing a lot of internal encounters that I've had that I've never really done that before. I've done a little bit sometimes when I speak, but I never wanted attention to come to Michael as much as I want the attention to be on them. So this is the first time I'm actually encoding in the book certain things that happened along with spiritual principles that allow people to be receptive to their own awakening,
Yes. That's amazing. What's that book going to be called? Do you have the title yet?
No, right now it's just a working title is just a way of meditation, something like that. But it's almost finished. So probably in 2 or 3 months it'll be ready to be released.
I can't wait to read that one. I love, stories. I feel like people's stories are what inspires others because they can see, oh, well, if it happened to you, then it could happen to me. Or if you got over that, I can get over it. So yeah, stories is a big, big part of my brand. I like to share a lot because I'm like, if I can make it, you guys can too.
That's exactly how I feel. Every saint has a past and every sinner has a future.
Yes, absolutely. Well, where can people find you? I mean, you're everywhere, but drop the links and, where people can look you up.
Absolutely. They can, if they want to see me speak every Sunday, they can go to my university and take classes. They can go to agapelive.com, agapelive.com. And if you want to go directly to michaelbeckwith.com, you can do that and see where I'm going to speak. Then you'll be able to see when the book's going to be released. Obviously, I'm on Instagram and I put something there pretty much inspirational every day, and my Facebook page as well. So those are the basic places. Yeah. Awesome. And they can go to my own podcast, Take Back Your Mind. Take Back Your Mind podcast. And, I'm on there every week and I have a life question of the week as well. So that's how you can find me.
Amazing. Okay. So at the very end of my podcast, I have a community and I always ask my community if they have any questions for my guests. So let's see. I did announce this right before we got started. So I'm sure I have some stuff in here. Yes, I do. Let's see here. All right. What is Shannon Harper says, what is one thing we need to know within this human and light being existence?
What is one thing we need to know?
Yes. Within this human and light being existence.
I said something earlier, your frequency is your currency. That's how you manifest. So you instead of trying to change the external world, you want to change your frequency. That's the only reason why you pray and meditate and study and become a part of communities like this, is to raise your frequency. And then if you are able to stabilize the frequency and gratitude and thanksgiving and love and generosity, then the external world will match that frequency. So you need to know that, and you need to be aware that you're never separated from God. You're never separated from your good. And God is not a guy in the sky. God is a presence that is never an absence of light, love, beauty, and intelligence. And so when you realize you're never separated and that your frequency determines your currency, you can be free right now.
Amazing. All right. Taryn says, advice for when struggling to trust intuition.
Intuition, there's intuition and there's direct knowing. In your intuition transcends time and space, so that you can know things before they happen because they've already happened in some dimension. Direct knowing is when you just know something without any process of reasoning. So when you say struggle, give up struggle, what you do is you start to notice in your life when you have a hunch or your first mind speaks to you. Notice what happens when you follow it, and notice what happens when you don't follow it. Yes. You'll say, when you don't follow it, you say, oh, something told me I should have gone left. Something told me I should have done this. Just notice when you do that, and then notice when you say yes to it. And every time you say yes, you're strengthening the intuitive faculty. It becomes easier. You get more when you say yes to your intuition. You start to just, every time you, even if it doesn't seem logical, you should call your cousin right now. Why? I haven't talked to her in 10 years. Just do it.
Yeah.
And you'll say, oh, wow, I'm glad I called her, because whatever was supposed to happen. But just notice that your coincidences will increase when you say yes to that hunch, which is your intuition talking to you.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, is there any last words for anybody out there, Rev?
The last word is always the first word, and that is we've emerged from the quantum field of love, beauty, intelligence, of infinite potential, infinite possibility, which means we've emerged from the heart mind of the infinite with everything. We're not missing anything at all. All we're doing is unfolding what we already have. And so you're not trying to get anything, not chasing to get anything. You're actually becoming still enough to allow what has already been given you to unfold. Like the acorn is not chasing an oak tree. The acorn is put in the right condition and the oak tree emerges. I just break this down very quickly. When we say we're the image and likeness of God, most people don't know what that means. It doesn't mean you look like God, because God is formless. It means that you share the same faculty that God has. And that faculty is you can think independent of a condition. So in the beginning, there was nothing. There was no conditions. And out of nothing, a cosmos, multidimensional universes, living biology emerged. So right now, you have the same faculty. Out of nothing, you can begin to re-enchant your imagination and really think the life you want to live into existence. Out of nothing, you have that power because you're the image and likeness of God.
Yes. Oh man, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for your work. Thank you for everything that you do and how long you've done it. Just brilliant, brilliant. And I'm so honored to, have you here in this conversation. Part one, because I could just keep going and going and going.
More questions will emerge. And I'm so glad we had an opportunity to get together, because both of us had to change our schedules a couple of times, but this was the right time.
Yes, always divine. Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being on my show. And guys, until next time, this was Unlimited with Elisabeth Carson. Peace.
Unlimited.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are those of the hosts and guests and don't necessarily reflect those of the producers or affiliates. We do not guarantee the accuracy of the content. Please verify information and seek professional advice when needed. By listening, you agree not to hold us liable for any actions taken based on this content. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you enjoy the episodes ahead. Love unlimited, feel unlimited.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I invite you to stay on this journey with me. There is so much more ahead. Courses, mentoring, healing circles, retreats, safe spaces to heal and grow. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and stay connected. We are not alone. In this journey, we're on it together.